in the cabbage.
Well, let's get it.
Test.
Yeah, we're live.
Welcome to In the Cabbage. This is crazy.
This is pretty bananas right now that we're actually doing this.
I'm Tommy Swain, Andrew Witt. Please subscribe, please listen, please download, like. And just a reminder, keep swinging. Heyo! Welcome back to In the Cabbage. I'm your boy, Tommy Swain, a.k.a. Big Sexy, Big Smooth, Big Diesel, whatever you want to call me. And to my right or your left.
He's the big dog right here. The big dog.
However you want to view or listen, my boy, A-Witt, Andrew Witt.
Hey, what's happening, people?
What is up, buddy? Heard you had a hell of a weekend with the bridal shower. How'd that go?
It was good, dude. It was great. Yeah, so Katie had her bridal shower. She was all fired up for that. It was all huge theme going on. Big shout out to the family, all the friends to make it happen. The place looked great. Did you see some of the
pictures?
pictures?
Some of the pictures. Unfortunately, Madison's cousin had her baby shower same day, of course.
Careful with the unfortunate. It's still great.
I mean, unfortunate in the idea of that
Yes,
they lined up on the same day.
The timing,
Not
of course.
unfortunate she had to go. No, I'm glad you made me clarify that. But yes, unfortunate they were the same day. Madison was happy to go to her cousins and do that with her.
There we go. Yeah,
but
it was just a bummer. It was the same time, legitimately the same time.
It was 12 p.m.
crazy.
12 p.m. on the same day.
Yeah, I know. It was a little bit of a bummer, but the place that was set up, it was fantastic. It looked great. It was like a Tiffany themed, like Tiffany and Bride. So instead of like Tiffany and Co, it was just Tiffany and Bride. So everything was like blue and whites and silvers, and it was really cool. It was really pretty. It was really cute. Lots of cute little, like decorations and some great food, some desserts. Had some Jersey Mike's sandwiches.
All time. Best sandwich
And
place.
I mean, big shout out for like for the big chains. I would say Jersey Mike's is up there.
Number
for
one
sure.
right now.
Yeah, as far as a big
If we're
chain.
talking big chains, like food-wise, there's not a better food spot.
It's a staple.
Truly.
Yeah, it's
If I see one
fantastic.
in the airport, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, I know what I'm doing for lunch.
100%.
If the line's not out the door.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna wait for that guy because he's gonna have that little slicer over there, freshly slicing.
I always feel
meat.
so bad watching those dudes.
Because you're always getting the Italian.
Yeah, like, you got to pull 15 meats out, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You have to pull out 20-something meats. I'm going to sit there staring at you. And they never look happy doing it.
No, they
but
never
I can't
do.
blame them. I wouldn't be happy yanking out fit. You don't want just turkey and provolone? Dude,
They're making art,
they
though. It is an art of a sandwich. It's a beautiful thing to watch
Did you
and
ever
see.
know what Subway people who made sandwiches were called? I think they're called sandwich artists. Yeah.
Really?
But anyways, back to K. I just thought a little fun.
That's a pretty loose term that they're going to be throwing around there for Subway. So yeah, it was fantastic. Food was great. And it was awesome because I actually got to go there. I got to hang out. I definitely stayed out of the way, did my little hello, hey, how's it going? Thank you all for coming. But then I made a quick exit over to the garage and I hung out with Loy, which is Katie's dad. For the listeners out there, and he's got a little bit of a launch monitor garage golf setup. Talking about like it's almost like a dream like setup. I mean, it really goes all like it's basically all the way there because he put in like an air conditioning unit so we can play in the summer. You know, you got the fridge right there so you can grab like some beers, some drinks. Exactly. The only thing truly that he's missing is like a small little grandstand section, or else that thing will be complete. It's really cool. He's got like the projector overhead, big
Just living
turf.
life, Floyd.
That was his like retirement gift to himself, and boy did he treat himself right, and I'm jealous of that. And so it was fun. We got to play a couple of courses, played 27 holes. That was a lot of fun. And that was kind of it. Like I kind of just stayed out of the way, but it was a fun time hanging. And it looked like all the gals had a fantastic time on Saturday. And so we got to do a little bit of extra celebrating back at our place. We kind of hung out, played some video games, kept it chill. And Sunday was just big on the recuperation.
Yeah,
day.
big rehab day for that, I'm sure. Shout out to my mom. She didn't show up for the fam, though, so I was a big fan of that. You know, she always does that for us.
Yeah.
She said she had a great time. It was really fun for her to, hang out and see everybody, and way less stressful this time for her around.
Oh, I'm
We're
sure.
like so excited. And Madison and I were like, oh my God, we could just get
There's
drunk and hang out.
Not a single
Right.
responsibility. Well, you got to make a speech though,
Yeah,
bud.
I feel like I do really well, like in the moment, funny.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
writing down funny, hard for me. Really hard for me to deliver like some personal messages and be funny.
I got
so
you.
I'm extremely nervous. I've been running it through my head, but I think
That's what you gotta
I'm
do.
overlapping
That's what I did with yours.
stories on ours a bit. So I have to go back and make sure I'm not, because I don't want to tell the same stories you told on mine.
It's fine.
I
They're
mean,
great stories.
But you know what I mean. On that, I just did a lot of recoup myself, buddy. Wifey again gone all day Saturday at her cousin's baby shower, which was awesome. Heard great things about it. Plenty of pictures. Very excited.
Nice.
And then just kind of played video games all day, which is, I used to be way into them, and rank play for Call of Duty just came out, and I've been grinding it. Yeah, it's
Really?
been fun. And not like, not full.
I did not expect you to hit me with
full Tommy in a garage CS:GO status. But
but I mean, a good 6-hour grind.
I mean, that one day. Every other night's like 2.5 hours is about as much as I could do.
Wow. Okay, what do you think of the game? Let's do a quick little
Game's
review.
awful. Rank play's great.
Okay,
I mean,
got it.
That's what my brother says. But
I mean, that's what you got to. Or you were talking about the game. Are you talking about just in general, like all of the gameplay, or just like literally the
no,
match
the
play
whole
and,
game
like online
can be
play?
thrown away and like new. That's from what people say. No,
They don't. Call of Duty doesn't make them like they used to. Let me tell you
World
that.
of Wars back in the day, blowing people's legs off
Oh,
all time.
we were just. It's so funny. On Saturday, I got to hang out with my brother for a little bit, and the topic of best video game kind of came up, and we were talking about best online video games. World at War, Modern Warfare, the first one. Those were the two that were just like
You would be
cream of the crop.
If you were going like the pros scene, those wouldn't even be in the top 3.
no, not even
Right.
close. I'm just saying, like, just for
But
the
I would
everyday
say
player.
World at War first one was all time.
When they broke out War, that game mode, that was
It was so much
fantastic,
fun.
dude.
That game, wow.
I just remember doing laps in your house, staying up till like
Oh,
4 a.m., just screaming
Yeah.
in your other room, doing laps in the
Just
house,
grinding it as
going
hard as you can.
bananas, dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was always that game always brought back great memories. But I'm
So that's a bummer that this new one is not
they've
quite
been going
hidden.
downhill. They make it
Yeah.
more for the casual player, for sure. Now that's what they've been catering to for as long as I'm going off the information my brother gives me, and my brother is a huge Call of Duty guy.
He's way more into it. I would
once
say he's
was-
a definite enthusiast.
Yeah, once was, still follows extremely closely, but doesn't play as much as he used to. Says he loves the rank mode, hates the game. So hopefully the rank mode just stays the same. It's really easy to understand, which is new for Call of Duty. But yeah, man, I just played that, hung out. Sunday we went to lunch with Madison's friend from college and her husband. They were really nice. They actually listened. The husband actually listened to the podcast before he met.
That's
He's
fire.
a huge golfer. Lives out in Pennsylvania. They just joined a country club.
Oh,
Yeah,
living the
he's
dream.
definitely living the
So
dream.
he had I'm sure he just snuck that one in.
Well, he
right?
was, like, I wanted to feel, when you meet somebody, you weren't trying to feel them out, like, how much can I talk about sports? Or, like,
course.
does this guy play golf? And it was,
Yep.
within 30 minutes of us hanging out, one cocktail in, I think, he had a beer, and we were like, you play golf, how often, what courses, all that good stuff, which is pretty typical for us. He's also a huge baseball guy.
Okay.
And we talked about the new pitch count. I don't know if you saw anything about
That's cool.
that.
Did see a little bit about that. It was I had Sports Center going on in the background while I was working, so I kind of tuned in for a little bit of what was going on with the pitch count. Do you know what the actual pitch count is? Is it like 10, 15, 20 seconds?
15 seconds. The batter has 7 seconds to get ready.
Got it.
So
okay.
at 7 seconds, if the batter's not ready, now again,
Way to do your
we're
homework,
not.
there, bud.
I mean, I'm just talking off of Twitter and the brief interactions I've had with that.
Yeah. It is very new.
I don't quote me on it. Not a baseball expert. I'm sure I'll get reamed for this, but I believe it's 15 seconds. Batter gets 7 seconds. If the batter's not ready to go, like full stance in it, it's a strike for the batter.
That makes sense because I saw that highlight that was going on, and it was, I don't know the teams that were playing. Do you know?
It was Boston and somebody else.
Okay. But yeah, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 3-2 count.
Yeah.
And
batter wasn't ready.
The batter was not ready. Didn't step in the box.
Strike 3, you're out.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I think it's great for a casual fan. I know that hardcore fans, like my father-in-law, hate it. Because it takes away from a bit of the game. But I think at this point,
there's also, I thought I saw there was a new rule as well that you can only throw to first base or like try to pick off a runner like twice for an entire at bat. I thought I saw like
That's
a
great.
rule like that floating around as well. Like you can't just throw to first base like 4 times if you want to. Just to like, yeah, it just takes forever.
There's parts of this game that need to be sped up, just like how golf needs to be sped up. Just like, you know, it's sad, you know, because these people who respect history and all that stuff don't want to see that go. But at the same time, like 4.5 hours to watch a baseball game is rough.
And you're also just losing, I feel like, a lot of viewership as well.
Like you can watch the first 2 innings, skip, you know, 3 through 6, and clock in for the last 2 and be, or last, you know, 3 and be completely happy.
Right.
For me personally, like I don't need to see the 5th
I'm in the same boat.
inning.
I'm in the same boat. I totally agree with you. Maybe it's not resonating very well with the vast majority, but I think it is a step in the right direction. And like you don't even need to have the pitch count even like on the screen. It doesn't even need to be like a thing that we can even see. It's just going to make the game move a little bit quicker, which is exactly, I feel like, what baseball needs. It's already a really slow sport to begin with. So anything to kind of get it going in that direction is going to only do it better.
Yeah, because I don't, you know, at the 3rd inning of the baseball game, if I don't have like peanuts and like popcorn and a beer and a hot dog, like I'm not into this game.
I'm out.
Like, I have to walk around. I'm getting helmet nachos. I'm getting those on my face. You know, those are things that why I go to a baseball game. You know, love baseball. It's great, but like it's got to pick up. I hear it's cutting down the game 10 to 15% of the time, which is great.
It was almost like 30 minutes of
which
game
is
time.
Perfect. Just, you know, like a couple little more changes like that, and this is going to be great. I think it does the pitcher well. I think if the pitcher's in a groove and they're in a rhythm, it's going to help you stay in a rhythm. Where a batter might try to ice you out a bit and maybe play some mind games, call out before you get it going. Like, you know, and maybe, you know, the coaches are telling the pitcher, you got to pick this guy off like 3 or 4 times. Keep him honest. Maybe he doesn't even really want to do that. So maybe these changes are going to help this pitcher get in a rhythm. At least that would help me. It would ice me out if a batter was sitting there calling timeout as he's like,
yeah, I think that's the whole thing. It's like only like he's standing there for like 3.5 seconds and he's calling time. It's like, oh, okay, that's a little
you got to
bit
get out of your stance, relock in, which is hard to do.
He's got to go to the chalk. He's got to readjust his hat. He's got to fix his belt. He's got to like redo his like glove. The batter's got to do his gloves, and like they got to do their own like tap the bat. Like it's like, oh my gosh, dude,
a whole rhythm to it. It's like watching Rafael Nadal get ready for a serve, man. Oh my god, he grabs, pulls his balls, and then hits the ball. It's like, what are we doing?
Messes with his hair like 17 times.
Love you, man. Yeah. Great to watch. Hair's got to go. Hair's got to go.
Hair's got to go.
I love you. You're a G. You make millions of dollars. You're like one of the funnest people to watch. Hair's got to go.
He's got to figure it out.
That's okay. He doesn't need the hair.
No, he doesn't.
The hair is like, if I lost my hair, I'm just a 30-year-old who works a 9 to 5 with no hair. I need the hair. Nadal does not need the hair.
You do not need. He's got the chiseled physique. He's making millions. Most established player of all time. Just just take off that head of hair, and he's gonna be okay.
Okay. No more need for it. And I'm sure there's surgeries out there that would work, but you're working too hard on that core plan. That's not gonna stick. But yeah, man. Other than just hanging out, watch a lot of sports. Watch the Lakers' biggest comeback in the NBA season this year.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch. I threw that on yesterday as well. It was I think arguably actually one of the better one of the better days of basketball or weekends of basketball that I've seen in a while.
For sure. I think everyone came back from All-Star break.
little rejuvenated.
Yeah, I think it's great for that reason. I think no matter what, if the All-Star game disappears and they just name All-Stars, which I would be okay with, just name the All-Stars.
I can't tell you the last time I've tuned in for an
or
All-Star
cared.
game.
Maybe it was like Kobe versus LeBron one year. That was about it.
Yeah.
But I think you just need to give them a break regardless. I think that little week and a half or two off really helps these players out. The wear and tear on your body is just so extreme, and the travel is also insane. Baseball is now limited. The idea of, you go play the Angels, you play them like 4 times. You don't just play them, once. You fly back to New York 2 more times. But the biggest bummer, great comeback, awesome to watch. The new pieces are amazing. The only bummer with that game was, I guess, LeBron James is out for an undisclosed amount of time.
Yeah, it's a real bummer to see because it really looked like the Lakers were putting something together. And I was really excited, actually, because it was looking like the energy and the morale was up for the entire team. And that was also without D'Angelo Russell and Lonnie Walker. We're not even playing.
Yeah, D'Lo, her ankle. And is Lonnie just not playing anymore?
I don't know. I thought he was hurt. I thought he had something going on with him.
So it was a great comeback. I love the new pieces. Vanderbilt, I think one of his name is. Don't hang me because I can't say his name. And Beasley, who's been lights out shooting for us.
Beasley's been chalking up some threes and good riddance because we needed a shooter in the worst way. Oh my god! You want to win
with LeBron James on your team? It's very simple. A big man who can dominate the ball on the block, who can do screen rolls. Who can also shoot, like a Kevin Love, Chris Bosh, and then players who can spread the floor. And that's all he needs. And if you give him those pieces, he is,
he's goated.
He's good regardless. It's damn near superhero status,
right? Because if you send a double or triple team at him,
he's gonna find the other guy every time. And that's just his core awareness. It's just really unfortunate to see him go down. We are the deepest team in the league, by far. It's not even close how deep we are.
Now it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like next man up. I don't know who they're going to bring up for him in that way, who's going to be getting a lot more playing time. I hope Lonnie gets another shot at this. This is where I have a hard time with sports, is when players on teams who are starters, Lonnie Walker,
and arguably a very key piece early in the season.
Was our guy at one point. Was our second or third scorer every night, and sometimes our first scorer, and now doesn't even see the court. I don't know if that's because of injury or if he's struggling with something. I don't fully know, but it is sad to see in sports when that happens. I don't really understand how you fall from grace in that way. And I don't really understand how you keep your mental in it as a player.
Yeah, that's also just so difficult. I don't know why that happens. It's weird. Sometimes players will maybe on a hot streak and they're just playing really well, but I don't think that's the case in this instance when we're talking about Lonnie Walker because the dude's a stud. He can play the game. Right. And then you make a couple of trades, move a couple guys around, and then somehow this once in a life or this, once upon a time player that was probably third best scorer on the Lakers is now not getting any time. I was trying to look and see if he's got an injury or something.
But I think that just
left knee tendonitis. Okay,
so that means he's battling with it day for day.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe he was just taking a quick breath for that game. Given that rest.
That makes more sense because to me, I saw him on the bench with his uniform on, didn't touch the court. Came in very end of the game. Not this one, but another game I was watching. And I just was thinking, I just don't, as a player, when you're that highly ranked on your team, and then no longer even you're just benching, I don't know how you mentally come back from that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. It's something that a lot of athletes I feel struggle with, especially when you're playing at that level and you know how capable you are. I don't know. It's one thing because we can speak on our experiences through our sports as well. It's just tough. You feel like you're playing at a certain level. You feel like you're carving out a role on a team. I certainly maybe felt that a little bit at Long Beach State, and then it kind of goes a little bit in and out. It's hit or miss. you're kind of like always maybe the guy that's like rotating in to try and see if you can turn things around. Sometimes it's not always the best position because usually when you get playing time, you're losing. And so it's just a tough situation to go in there, turn things around. It's a tough thing for athletes, I feel like, to battle. But all you can really do is you have to just keep working and try to get better because there could be a trade. There could be an injury if the guy that was beating you out gets injured. Now you have to like step into that role, even though you got taken out of it if a trade happened. It's just something it's never written in like a very scripted way, like how this is going to all play out. But I feel like you just got to be ready. And I guess that's just part of the game at some point.
Yeah, I feel, it's extremely hard. I'm just more selfish. So when I'm benched like that, in my brief high school careers, which was a lot of benching, a lot of experience with being benched, at that point, it was the next man up for me. At that point, I was like, cool, I'm clearly not good enough to be on this team to even see playing time anymore when I was starting or having a key role. I'm like, cool, I'm just not going to try anymore. Because what's the point? Like, I'm going to come on for 3 minutes at the end of the game. Like, that's not going to change your mind about me. Like, and maybe that's just me being jaded, but I feel like a player, once they're benched like that, like coming at the end of the game and bringing energy,
no, it happens a lot. That's why players ask for trades. That's why they talk a little bit of trash behind the scenes, or there's issues off the court.
Yeah, I asked for a trade for my high school coach, but he didn't trade me. They were asking too much for that washing machine. They wanted a first round pick as well for our freshman class and me for a washing machine, and they wouldn't give it up, which I get it.
I heard Elisa really wanted.
Yeah, I was really I was really bringing that energy to Aliso, but didn't quite work out. But yeah, man, I mean, more on that mental topic. I don't know if you've seen these. Oh, I know you have, but seen these videos on YouTube from Foreplay called "Fixing Frankie." The premise of it, for people who don't know the series, is basically there's a YouTube channel called Foreplay Golf, one of my favorite. It's with Barstool Sports guys, and Frankie is a member on that team. Frankie has all the talent to be a really good golfer, but his mental is completely and utterly chalked. So he has he can't for forever. He was nicknamed Butter Knives. This is when he got close to the green with a wedge, he bladed over the back, and it was like at some point it was just
There was a YouTube video. And like people who don't know, it's a hilarious video to watch because they're getting a chipping lesson, and I can't remember who it was from.
Fleetwood.
It was Tommy Fleetwood. Yeah, okay.
If Tommy Fleetwood can't teach you how to hit a wedge, it's on you.
Totally. And the man must have hit there and hit a bucket of golf balls.
I mean, it was a lot of golf balls in front of Tommy Fleetwood, and it was like Duff.
It was not just like five or six. Multiple dozen.
Right, and since that moment, he decided he was going to go on a journey to learn to fix his mental in golf, and in the way, making him a better golfer.
Some of the best videos I've ever seen on YouTube, as far as content creation.
Especially for golf, it's up there. Episode 1, he meets with a sports psychologist who specializes in golf, and just in sports in general, but he does a great job with golf.
Yeah.
All-time video.
Because golf is very much of a sport that you need to have a very clear picture and clear intent of what you're doing, because in effect you have full control of yourself basically. And if you're not having that good self-talk, and if you're not having a clear idea of what you're trying to pull off or what you're trying to do, it's very clouded because there's not a lot of reactionary movements.
Right, there's not a lot of quick thinking. You really have to sit there and wait for people and think about it, and you have to as a golfer, you have to move past your bad shots. So last shot, you might have bladed one, but that's the last shot. Now you guys set yourself up for this one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't remember the man's name, but who did the episode number 1. But I mean, all time helped me out with my golf game greatly, with the mental out there and how to just realize it's not. It's the last shot. It's the next one that matters. How to fix how you feel about yourself during the golf game. The mental self-talk you go into it while you're playing. I'm not perfect. Still have the issues I did at the Ryder Cup.
Managing expectations. A lot of it is having that clear idea of what you're trying to do. So then if you do like miss a shot or don't pull it off perfectly, your miss is going to be much closer to what you're trying to pull off. The mental game of that first video was really cool. And it's just fun too because Frankie, I feel like, is a very good representation of the very, I would say, average person that's playing a sport. Like, very fixed mindset at times and can be a little bit locked in, and especially because he's got cameras on it all the time. It's very easy for him to just say, oh, I just suck. This is my, this is me. This is who I am. Like, I always just like fuck up a lot of shots and blade chips
but
and
it's embarrassing
do this and that. And it's embarrassing. So that's his coping mechanism, right? Is to just kind of say that he sucks and he can't do it. And he's got the nickname of Butter Knives,
Right. And it's cool that he's like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be bad at golf. I don't want to be bad in golf in that way anymore. And I'm sure it's just demoralizing because there's nothing worse than you just like losing your mental on a golf course.
Yeah,
when
it's rough, and especially how much golf that they play. I know they get a lot of heat for that. So,
especially when you're going out and you're playing these all-time courses, and you're and you're playing awful, and it's not. And even when we go play nice courses and we play really bad, it's hard for us to get back in the game. But it really did help. I think if you're new to golf and you want to manage your expectations, which I feel like this whole series is about as a golfer, like the rarity you see on the pros hitting golf shots is not your average round ever as an amateur golfer. Even as a scratch golfer, these shots these pros are hitting sometimes, like more often than not, like all the time, is not your reality. And you need to like realize that you're watching these people do it over and over and over and over again on TV isn't your round of golf.
It's also a lot of it on the PGA Tour. I mean, that's the highlights. You're
that's what I'm
seeing
talking
the better
about.
Shots.
Right.
Like, you're just seeing good shot after good shot after good shot. Like,
it's like
they're skipping past the shanks and
the
like
duffs
some of the other
and the
chip
bunkers
outs.
when they like double hit it, and
it's happening far less, obviously, but still they're showing like the leaders, the guys who are playing well.
right. It's just
stuff,
all
so.
raining in 20-foot putts, 30-foot putts across the green, chip-ins.
Chip-ins.
Right,
exactly.
and it's just not how real golf is played. And I think what happens with amateur golfers, and including myself, is we don't know how to play the game. We just go in there blind. So episode 2 touches on more of how to play golf. If you're talking about episode 1 was the mental of it. You're not a pro golfer. Give yourself the break. You're supposed to be having fun. Have a routine. Come in with some intent and how to get that. Right. Episode 2 is all about how to play the game.
How to score,
and it's
basically.
With Scott Foster of Decade Golf.
Yeah, this guy is really cool.
Like Rain Man for statistics in golf.
Yes. Like he described himself, and I'll kind of quote him real quick, is that he created Moneyball. Like for baseball, he's the Moneyball of
right,
golf.
And it's a really great elephant pitch. Elevator pitch. Man, I got an elephant. I don't know if you see it back here. I got a fat elephant over here with a golf swing if you need it. Elevator pitch for what his app does. Now, I tried to do it on my own one time.
Did you?
I watched the Scott Fawcett episode a long time ago, and I got really obsessed because this is where I started learning how to...
Is this the dude that did it with Mark Crossfield? Yes. Is that what you initially got involved with?
I saw his initial episode a long time ago on a podcast with Foreplay. And that podcast blew my mind. Because he just basically says, let's stop looking at the flag and thinking you're going to hit 2 feet. Realistically, you're going to hit it to the middle of the green, and you're going to probably, hopefully, 2-putt from 30 feet. Now let's get back to doing that instead of you trying to being pissed off at yourself for not, hitting it 5 feet past and zipping the ball back to 2. Like, what I mean? Like,
it's not realistic.
Right. You're not playing golf every day. You're not a pro. Your wedges aren't clean.
Isn't the tour average from 100 yards like 22 feet?
Right. And people
25
don't
feet
really get that. And it's crazy. So when people are 98 yards out, 55 yards out, and they put it onto the green and they're bummed about that. I'm like, no, that was a good shot. You're on the green. Like, let's get a 2-putt and get out of here.
Right.
Like, even if you're close to the green and you have a flat stick in your hand, it's almost a win. And that's how people, a very brief description of how you probably should start changing your mindset. Like, more often than not, you're missing 5-footers. You're missing. You're definitely missing 6-footers.
It's unfortunate to talk about because it's infuriating because it feels like the cup's right there, but 5 feet and out, not making very many.
Right, like you need it needs to be more realistic in that sense. Scott Fawcett is a crazy man, though. Like he definitely likes to stir the pot, which the episode's a little harder to listen to just because he is so, a little. Eccentric is a good word for it.
He's just talking at a different level. So if you're not maybe too familiar with the topics, it's elevated for sure. And it's something that dives into a little bit further without getting a ton of information. So if you're going to watch the video, I would listen to the podcast that you listen to with Foreplay first, get some more background information, and then see how it's applied out onto the course. That would be a much better approach to actually grasp a lot of that information because it's very, it's something that you should actually put into your game. And you've actually done it a little bit. We've done it a little bit. Not to the point where we're like studying our shot patterns and all of our misses and tracking all of our shots.
Like a crazy number system that we're not there at all. But I think taking the theme of what he's doing. Exactly. And we're going to I'm going to pull out some nuggets of gold I've pulled from this video that I thought we'd talk about. I'm 100% next round that doesn't matter. I'm picking an aim point in front of my ball instead of a target that's super far away.
That was really interesting. I actually really like that.
I don't love it just because it's not natural to me. But essentially what he's saying, instead of aiming for a tree that's 270 yards away, that's kind of in the middle of the green area or the fairway area, why don't you aim at the same target but pick a little grain of grass or a pebble or a bald spot in front of your ball and just have your club face travel over that path. Just have your club face travel over that path that's in front of your ball, that's close to you.
Or like the ball. The ball's going to go over it, basically.
Whatever you need to do to line that up makes so much more sense to me mentally, especially for an amateur golfer. Instead of being, hey, you see a tree that's 300 yards away? No, not that tree. The smaller tree on the left with the green leaves, not the brown leaves. You do that with people.
It's hard to pick out.
Instead of being like, hey, you see this pebble right in front of it? Just pull your club right over the top of it and swing as hard as you want. And I think it will help. I think that's one of the nuggets I pulled out.
That's a great one because for someone like myself, I definitely I struggle a lot with my start lines with the golf ball. My golf ball is very wild. I tend to just get these like massive pushes, I don't know where it comes from. Massive misses, 60 yards right, and it happens quite frequently. And it drives
me... Especially from 120 yards and in.
It drives me up the wall.
After bashing a driver 320 down the middle.
Dude, it's one of the most infuriating things. And so, for me, that was a nugget that I definitely pulled out of that video when I was watching because that makes so much more sense because when I'm looking down at the golf ball, now I actually have this peripheral target that I'm semi-looking at that I can see. And that's where the golf ball needs to start, or I need to hit the golf ball over this mark and then play my shot shape from there, as opposed to me literally dropping the club way inside and then I'm missing my target, that little blade of grass that I picked out by like 20 degrees, and now we're 60 yards offline with a 5-iron.
Right, and that's not what you don't want that. And I think that's a really, really, really nice way of lining somebody up who struggles with lining up. I personally just can line my feet up to a target and just swing free, and I know I'm going to fade it. I don't really have much more of a miss. It's either a cut or a fade. So it's a little easier for me to line it up, but I think it might actually help straighten my ball flight out a bit because I think I might be able to get more around on it instead of trying to be.
You also might be more, and you might be more committed to your shot as well.
And I'm going to play a little par 3 this weekend in San Diego, and I'm going to let you know how it goes.
Where you
I don't know the name of it, but we can bring dogs out on the course.
That's really
so we're going to bring cool. Hendrix out and see how that goes.
That's going to be a blast.
So I think it's like
walk the course.
Ride. Yeah.
Okay.
Just need to get Hendrix and Madison in that cart and get them going if we need to pick it up a little bit.
That's not a bad call.
But it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. There's, I've always wanted to do that ever since.
Any par 3 course is just a good time.
To totally try out some new stuff because it's not going to matter. Before the bachelor party where I win this weekend to get my revenge of the Ryder Cup. Any other little nuggets you grabbed from the video?
Yeah, I definitely think now we're getting a little bit more in depth into this. I thought the Venn diagram was a really cool topic.
Give me a little bit more
really,
details on
really
that.
a little bit more of like an interesting pitch. So basically he was saying that yes, every club has your average carry. So let's say you have your average carry of your 7-iron, let's call it 170. Right. That's your 7-iron. And then you're going to club up to a 6-iron. And that's the average your 7-iron will go is 170. That's technically how you should be doing your distances, not when I pure 7-iron, then it goes 176. Okay, well, there's also a lot of mishits in there too. Right. So then now it's going to be a 163 mishit. So you kind of just split the difference between the two. Your 7-iron is now your 170 club. And let's say there's a pin that's in the middle of the green. Mm-hmm. And then there's trouble that is short. You got bunkers and you got a big drop off. And in the back, there's just literally just grass and it's pretty flat. And then the green is not sloping from back to front. It's just called level for this. So all the troubles in the front, drop offs are going down there, but long is safe. And so let's say the pin's 173 away, mm-hmm. right? And you got 7-iron in your hand. Probably not the right club.
Correct.
Even though if you pure 7-iron, now it's going to get you there because now you're going to land it 174 and you're going to be hole high 15 feet and in potentially if your direction is correct. We're now going to talk just straight distance here, not left to right. And maybe that's not the right pick because all the troubles that's in the front. And let's say that bunker is on the short right and the drop off's on the short left.
Yeah.
And that's a bad pick because more times than not, you're not going to hit that 7-iron 174.
You're looking at the back of the green where it's safer.
Exactly. And so then you want to take let's hit a 90% 6-iron that goes 185 as your average. And the back of the green is that 185 number.
And you're going to lose 5 yards because you're into the wind. I think that's really cool. I think it's a good way of understanding that
there's an overlap between your clubs and knowing that you can play that overlap to better suit the attacking position of the pin or just landing in safer positions on the green, just in general. So that was just a really fun little piece.
Totally. I do a little bit of that when we play because I land my ball always short. I'm always short of the green. I'm always short. So when I start playing well again is when I start aiming for the back of the green. Instead of, even if the flag's in the front at let's say it's 170 front pin, which is typically a 7-iron for me, now I'm hitting 6. Because now, I fade the ball so much or cut it that I'm losing that distance.
Slight mishit, a little bit more of a cut, whatever. But then if you hit a good 6-iron, then you're in the back of the green.
Two-putt.
Then you just
two-putt get out there with
40,
par. That's a win.
And then you're 40 feet away. But more times than not, it's basically we're talking about the shot dispersion, how far the good one goes, how far does the bad one go, and picking the yardage that's going to fit the position of the pin and give you the best chance of scoring by avoiding the trouble, essentially.
Yeah, I think if you're new to golf, what you should do is manage your expectation, hit the driving range, not just to go bash balls and learn how to swing totally, but let's learn how far your 7-iron goes. On average, just look. It doesn't need to be exact. You don't need to know every single time, but I hit the 7-iron and it goes about 150. Okay, then you could assume from there that your 6-iron goes 160, and moving 10 yards,
just 10 yards
from there.
10 yards, 12 yards, 15-yard bumps.
Just keep going from there, and then if it doesn't work on the course, you're going too long, then adjust. Just take the what's given to you out there as statistics or notes and apply that as the game is going. Take note, even if you're missing left every time. Okay, that's fine. Today you're missing left. Aim more right.
Yeah.
You don't need to change. The time to change your swing or try something new isn't on on 18 holes of playing. It's on the range or playing with your buddies is when you could change things up like that.
Sure.
My last little nugget I got from this, which I think is important, is the understanding of when to hit a hero shot when you're in the cabbage and when to accept that you're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
So Frankie gets all the way to the right into thick stuff in the cabbage, and he's going to hit out of the cabbage in a bad lie low stinger with a 4-iron through some trees.
And he's got to keep it below like 20 feet.
Right, and he's got to roll it out.
And it's not heavy rough. Like, he's in the fescue.
Right, it's thick.
Like,
and he knew he was
knees.
doing that before he even got there. Instead of like looking at what the shot, okay, I hit a bad shot. That's gonna happen to me. The name of the game is no doubles. That's how you lower your score. No, it's not birdies. The statistics show it's not birdies. It's lowering the amount of doubles and bogeys you have in a round. It's how you start playing better golf.
Yeah, there's a stat that's out there. The scratch player averages 1.8 more birdies than a typical like 18 handicapper.
Which is nothing.
A round. We're talking less than 2 more birdies.
So
around.
what is he doing differently? Well, he doesn't get doubles. Like Chris doesn't double.
Yeah, it's very rare.
And he's always looking for par or birdie putts. He might not make all of them, but he's always looking at them. Where I'm scrambling for my bogeys. I'm making like 5 or 6 footer for bogey. And I need to tap in for bogey. So anyways, he gets convinced to lay up to the left and take his medicine. He came out of there with a bogey. He drops another ball to try to do the hero shot he wants to do.
Yep.
And what happens? Bashes into the tree and sends it 20 yards right into the thicker stuff.
Into further
right.
shit.
And it just shows you that you're not Tiger Woods. You're not,
That's another thing
Bubba
as well.
Watson.
And if he does, this is another point as well. Now we're getting a little bit too specific into this little bit of a video, but like even if he were to pull off that fantastic hero shot, he's still probably not going to get home in the next 2 shots because he still has 80 yards in. You're not going to put. How often do you get home in 2 from 80 yards? 1 out of 15, 1 out of 10.
The point of that was it's not. It wasn't like it was advancing you in a way that gives you an advantage of trying to pull this shot off now. It was more negative than positive.
Way more negative.
So you need to weigh your options. Like, am I up in a match play by 3 right now? Do I need to go for this green? Or can I just lay out and just get my bogey here and move on with my life? And I think people need to start looking at golf that way. At least, that's what I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that's in there that I need to start applying a little bit more because I definitely want to go out there and hit. Because it's not the most exciting golf to play. It's not. It's very basic. It's very straightforward. It's, okay, how do I avoid messing up all the time? And it's not very exciting because you're not going for birdies. You're not doing this or that. You're just kind of plodding around the course, playing as safe as possible, and sometimes that's not the most exhilarating, but that's how you're going to score better. And so for you, you've actually I feel like you have applied this more than I have, and we've seen a dramatic increase or decrease in your handicap.
Right, just because of it. Just because I'm just not aiming at flags. If the flag is a good spot for me, then I'll aim for the middle of the green and let the ball fade into the flag. But very rarely am I ever aiming at a pin to take dead aim at a pin.
Learning your distances on your irons, pulling the right club.
Shot shape, mental, managing expectations of what I'm doing on the golf course.
Factoring in okay, how much is the wind going to really affect this ball? Do I need to pull the right club? This and that. I think it's dropped. I mean, where are you at now? You got a 14 because you were at a 21 before, right?
Yeah, I was at 21.
I mean, and that's in a year's time, and I mean, you haven't taken any lessons. You've broken out a putting mat, yes. That's probably shaved off of at least 3 strokes, but the other 4, 5 strokes that are in there, I think a lot of it has to do with the decision making, thinking through your bits and pieces of the game, and then also taking your medicine.
Yeah.
Because you'll get in a bad spot, but then you're just going to make bogey. And you're
A bogey hurts a lot more as a 6 handicap than it does an 18.
It doesn't really matter
18,
for an 18.
that's
still
net
par.
par. That's a great job.
Bogeys are wins.
Bogeys are wins. Par, I think now when I hit par, I'm like, that's a birdie. When I get par, it's like, nice birdie. In my head, when I get bogeys, I'm like, unsatisfying, par, let's move on to the next one.
See, that's great because you've totally taken that first video that Frankie was doing with the psychologist and applying it directly to your game and having that self-talk, saying bogeys are great. Bogeys are not hurting me one bit.
Right.
Pars are fantastic.
Doubles is where I get mad at myself at.
You're like, where did I go wrong? I probably made a couple bad decisions, or I messed up on a shot I probably shouldn't have.
And
you address that later with practice, more repetition, all that kind of stuff.
Not pulling the same mistakes. Learning how to hit a straight ball would be great at some point in my life.
Yeah,
right. And maybe if I can actually find my putter again, and I'm not walking around there blind and
you're just swinging that thing around with no
like
regard.
a caveman. Bashing my head over it. I can't figure out where I'm putting with the stick end of it. I think I'm not even using the head end of it anymore. I'm just slapping it around.
Oh gosh.
So a lot of content was viewed for me this weekend, and I'm the full swing doc has been out for a little bit of time. I haven't finished it, and I wanted to touch on what I thought of it so far. I just finished the Tony Finau episode, which.
We were watching the first few together, and that was really fun. You watched the Tony Finau episode. I have not yet, but I'm sure we're going to be catching up on that a little bit. But yeah, dude, what
I think so far?
What do you think?
I love that they're making golf content. I'm full support of it.
Couldn't agree more.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't ever want it to go away because I think it's great for the game of golf. But do I like it? No. I don't think it's the best series that's on Netflix in these shows.
It's especially tough when you're going up against the Drive to Survive and Breakpoint that are going on.
Drive to Survive, I came out at a similar time. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of that, and I'm already more captivated by the Drive to Survive than I am golf.
Yep.
I am interested, though, if it's mainly more interesting for a person who doesn't know golf. If you don't know golf, I would love for you to reach out. Let us know what you thought of the doc and this doc series if you did watch it, because maybe this is catered towards you more because you don't care about X, Y, and Z. But I'm not getting the things I was hoping for. It's supposed to be breaking down a player throughout the full season almost, and they all kind of lead up to the end where they have the championship. They haven't brought up the FedEx Cup standings. They haven't showed a player throughout all tournaments. It's just one tournament where he plays well at. Which to me, it's like you don't see the full story. You don't see that he's banging balls, which means hitting the driving range for people who don't know what banging balls means. That could be taken in the wrong way for sure. He's out there, slapping the ball around every day from, gym in the morning from 6 to 8. Breakfast from 8 to 9, 9 to 3. He's on the range. 3 to 6 is a practice round. 6 to 7's putting. Comes home for dinner. More stretching. Wakes up. Does it again the next day. They don't show what. Then 1 week he's gone.
They show lots of family life, which is great. It's fine. I thought it was going to be a little bit more about the daily grind in golf, more encompassing of the full season in which they're going on. So what
is happening, not just one tournament.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I love what they're doing. I'm in full agreement with you here because
and they're not even showing that much golf. They're not. They're skipping through day 3 or day 2.
And when they do show golf content, it's not the back and forth action that you want.
They aren't building. They're not building the suspense of one shot. They're not being every once in a while that a build up, but they're not showing you this putt's worth $30,000 he's about to putt here. There's no suspense or build up to this. Yeah. And there's no behind the scenes action that's really that captivating either, when I know that they're pissed at themselves or cussing on the range.
What about coaching session? I understand that you can't give away all your swing tips and swing thoughts and this and that, but at least let me see them working on the range with the coach and lifting and doing some mental prep and strategy. I want to see a little bit more of the behind the scenes work that you were talking about.
Which is a bummer because I was really looking forward to this series and.
But you know what? Maybe we're being a little bit harsh because this is the first year that they're doing it, and now it's Drive to Survive is on its 5th season. And so they're dialed over there. They know what's going on.
I hope it just keeps going because it's great, and I think it's awesome that they're doing it for sports. I just wish it was more captivating for myself.
Maybe it's because we're already so into the golf game. Maybe it is because I don't follow tennis as much. Breakpoint.
I don't follow any F1 besides this.
Well, I started watching F1 because of the TV series. I don't follow it like I do golf, but I watched all of the races last year.
Do you know why? That's why they're doing these. Is because F1 was so successful in the American audience that they it basically rejuvenated the sport. And now they're just doing it for every sport that possibly needs a bump. I also think it's a little bit of a hit piece on Live, which to me, I don't feel bad about at all. I'm officially at the point now. I watched some Live Golf 2 over the weekend.
I mean, they are just pumping the team play.
Yeah, it's just all team play, which is great. Like, cool. That's awesome. You're trying to be different, but it just is fake. It feels phony. Like, just call it what it is.
It's manufactured for sure.
You guys aren't enjoying this.
Now that they have their set teams and there's no more of this like debate, who's leaving, who's not, who just got offered a contract, are they coming? It's just like it's everything is set in stone and it's very manufactured the way they did it, and so it doesn't feel genuine, and it's missing that. And
the team names
PGA
suck.
Tour
we talked on that. The Crushers, the Dynamos. Like I don't even know that it's one of the teams.
You're better than me.
I don't think Dynamo is one. It's like the backyard baseball names that you would get. You pick like some bad logo and you would name it like whatever your backyard house name would be for your backyard baseball team. It's exactly what those logos look like.
It's rough.
Like Tommy
Purple
Sluggers,
Eagles
and then it's like a baseball, bat.
But yeah, I just think that it is taking a little bit of a slam on Live, and I'm all good with that. I just agree. It could have been so much better. It should be better, and I'm wondering if they're gonna maybe figure it out and if they can dive a little bit deeper and have a little bit more coverage for next seasons. Because I do think it's something that's there, and maybe this is a very introduction to the PGA Tour, and maybe they're going to build on it.
I hope so.
Bit.
Hopefully it's a multiple season thing, because I think golf does deserve it. Because it's a great sport, and people should love it, because, your 10-year-old son can play with your 45-year-old dad, and it could still be fun for both. And then sports, there's not much of that. You can shoot hoops with your kid, but if we're playing pig, I'm crushing my 10-year-old son. There's no way he's getting a shot on me. We're playing one-on-one. He's getting shut down.
He's getting
shut down. My dad. Fun story with my dad on the topic. I was, feeling 13. My dad's a short man. He's built like a hobbit.
The dude's got.
Yeah, he's like 5. No, not short man. Shorter than me. He's like 5.
Is he
5'8",
5'9"?
5'9". Maybe that's slander against my dad. But he's shorter than I'm 6'5", my brother's 6'4". And so it's funny when people see us together, because they're like, why is this man who looks like a door
what's going on? Let's go.
giving birth to a beautiful Greek god of myself? We were playing. I was feeling myself at like 13. I think I was the same size of him, if not taller. I'm like, yeah, you can't guard me anymore. You're short. I got moves on you. And my dad's like, getting a little competitive with me. He's like, you're not going to score a bucket. You're not going to score a point. Yada, yada, yada. We're chirping each other. We get back. My brother's keeping score. My stepsister's keeping score. Everyone's watching. And we start playing. My dad's just backing me down. I mean, he's giving me.
He's backing up. That
he's backing up those huge shoulders that like a coal miner has, and it's just putting.
He's a big dude because he pushes around a dolly. Yeah. For people that don't know, he pushes around a massive dolly on movie sets, and those things are
right. They're on track, so let's not go too much. He's not He-Man in it. You know what I mean?
But he's doing it for a living, and he's moving heavy things for a living. Just to put it in perspective.
So he's giving me the work. 13. Finally, I think he gets gassed. Not the most in shape man in the world. Starts to get gassed, and I get the ball. I think I make a bucket or two. I'm talking. I'm down by a couple. My dad goes up for a layup, and he just he's like, ow, he's in pain. My dad does not say ow. Like, my dad does not say ow or do any of this.
Okay.
And he's limping around. I'm like, all right, game over. You can't play. I win. I was up 3-2 or something. And he's like, nah, F that. We're playing.
He's invested.
Finishes the game out, right? He wins. I don't know the exact score. I think this score was 5-3 or 7-3 or whatever it was. Goes back, ices his knee down. It's swollen. Goes to the doctor the next day and tore his MCL and his ACL, I'm pretty sure.
Oh
Dude. But he taught me it was our one and done basketball game. So rounding that out, golf isn't going to let you, you're going to be able to play against your son and not blow your ACL and your MCL out. Which is...
Wait, that is crazy.
He played on it. Just like walked it off and just kept going, like limping around. He's like, I got to give my son this quick work and then get back to business. But, yeah, man, I'm hoping...
Damn. Glenn, just the highest pain tolerance.
I mean, Glenn and my mom. My mom
is
just all time over pain tolerant. If I hurt myself, my mom would be like, I'm sorry, honey, but like, you're okay. And my dad would be like, suck it up. Like there was no like, oh, I got a boo-boo on the course.
Yeah, there was
none
of that. Not in the Swain household. Not a chance.
No. I mean, I remember I cried like one time during sports, and then my dad was, suck it up.
Not even from your sideline, from like the parent sideline.
Whistling. Whatever like Glenn whistle is.
Yeah.
Hey, cut that shit out.
Just
and mom was always there. It's okay, honey, you're okay. But shout out to mom, she was always so nurturing of that type of stuff, which is great. So going back to our little match, we got a couple great golf tournaments coming up, buddy.
Yeah, we do.
To view.
We are right in the swing of the season. Really picking up
great
here.
Purses this year. We got Bay Hill. I was going to say Arnold Palmer. It's not Arnold Palmer's tournament.
Yeah.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought it was Jack Nicklaus's tournament.
Arnold Palmer.
Okay. I'm blowing it. Anyways, Bay Hill.
Hold on.
Who cares what tournament it is? It's one of the old golfers who's really good at it, The only person who can hit 2 irons, Jack Nicklaus, and God, as my father-in-law says.
Yeah, confirmed. It's the Arnold Palmer
Thank
Invitational.
God. Bay Hill.
At Bay Hill Golf Course. So yeah,
so I was right. The man who
right.
bludgeon himself, the man who makes the drinks that make my world changed for me. We got some picks for you. Again, we're doing 1 through 15, 16 through 40, 41 through the rest of the field. I crushed Andrew last week, put him into the body bag. So I got first pick on the top of the field.
It was not even close. It was a disgraceful showing by
I'm hoping for a big bounce back from you. And I really do think you blew it again. So I'm just going to go there with it, and I'm going to start off the first pick.
Pick a man while he's down in a body bag.
I'm going to go. My first pick.
You just run the intro and just sabotage me, and just we're over there making our picks. You're like, yeah. No,
yeah,
I like
great.
You're telling me really how
right
you
here
feel.
On the podcast. Well, I can air my feelings out to you. Give you everything I got. 1 through 15, I got my boy Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I mean, can you go wrong with the man?
He's due for another dub.
The dude's playing unbelievable. Has been for the last year.
He's going to start picking up. He sees that money. He's like, humble Texas boy. He's got his wife at home.
Yeah, dude, the purse is also $20 million.
That cash.
It's good. That's a good shout out. Like now for the PGA Tour and the elevated, like the events that we now have over here against Liv. Sorry, Liv, but we're just doing it well over here at PGA Tours. And love that pick. I almost went with my 1 through 15 with the top rated players and the highest odds to win. Yeah, I went with Tony Finau. I thought maybe this is going to be his week. I kind of just picked it just because. I don't know why. I'm just like, I got a good feeling.
Tony
he's
can come
streaky.
Out, and if he can find his putter fast, it's really dangerous.
It's a risky pick, though, I will have to say. I didn't want to go John Rahm. I mean, it's just
so boring right now.
He's always going to play well. The dude's unbelievable, and I want to give some love to Tony Finau. He won 4 times last year, and he's playing some really good golf, and he's going to find his form.
Yeah, and he usually does, so this might be the tournament.
That's kind of what my hunch, that's what I'm going off of right now.
But I hope he turns around.
Thanks, buddy.
My 16.
Keep throwing those backhanded
16 through 40 for me. I went Shane Lowry, coming off a very low round last week, last weekend, coming out a shot like a 64 or something.
Yeah, he was on fire. He finished pretty well at this last tournament. I think he was like
he was in it because of his great round.
Well.
But Yeah, going Shane Lowry. Who'd you pick, buddy?
Yeah, I've also heard that you also look like a distant cousin to Shane.
I probably do, man.
Have you ever heard that?
No. My Irish brethren. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He does look like your cousin just right across
He's got that
the pond.
computer neck, the long arms, or short arms, long torso build.
I love that pick for Shane Lowry for you.
My brother.
Love Shane.
Yeah,
love
of course
Shane.
you do. He's me.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? He's a very lovable dude. Seems like he's just a guy that you just want to have a beer with.
Sure.
I cannot believe you actually let this guy slip through the cracks here. It's a little bit of a shaky one, but I'm just going off of a big name, and I think he's going to have a great year. He's been a little shaky right now, but again, a guy that can really find a stride, and that's Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, I really wanted Jordan.
Shane Lowry is hitting the golf ball a little bit better.
Just played last weekend.
As of right now.
I like when players come into a tournament maybe after playing once already and playing well there.
Which is alluding to your next pick.
When they come up. And so my next pick would be Nick Taylor. If you don't know, he's a Canadian who finished second at the Waste Management Open. Another course that's dry, firm, fast. So I'm hoping he can come out and do something similar.
Yeah. Wraps it up here for me, my rest of the field pick. Yeah, I didn't really have anything of a hunch here, just picking it based off of solely just a name. I haven't seen him float around on the top of the leaderboard for a little bit of a while. There's a little bit of a trend going on with my picks here. Kind of picking these bigger-ish name guys that have not really surfaced to the top. And I got a feeling that one of these three are going to really make a push, and I picked Harris English for this week.
Harris?
I think he's a great player.
English?
Harris English.
Like the hotel, Harris English?
Yeah, Harris. Yeah.
Nice. I always thought it was Harry English. I think it's a cooler name.
I think so,
like
too.
Harry English. All right. Well, we'll see how we do. We'll keep you guys updated. It's a fun tournament. It's one of the best ones to watch if you aren't, into golf watching that much.
It's also just an elevated tournament before the players.
Right.
Tournament.
It's good.
And it's a good tune-up.
For sure. Great names out there. People really coming out. Great purse. Fun to watch the legends play. It's a cool course to watch. So we are mixing it up, buddy. We're almost here at the end of the podcast. We like to do a featured match, but we have other topics or other,
we have
segments.
other segments we want to show the world here.
And we all know everyone does the rank your three best, do your three best restaurants, top five,
blah, blah, blah.
And here we like, talk about in the Cabbage stuff a bit more, stuff that we find that's funny, that we can disagree on things we hate more than we like. Or dislike, not hate. Hate's such a strong word.
It's a hate.
Yeah, 3 worst is what it's called. So we're going to pick 3 worst, fast food restaurants, 3 worst, shoe brands. But this week we got 3 worst sodas.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this one. This is going to be a really fun one. And if you don't mind, I would love to start this off because I feel like I'm going to get a ton of heat.
So number 1 would be your most or the worst soda you don't.
I'm picking some sodas that I feel like I'm going to get some slander for.
Like soda number 1 would be like
I'm never drinking
if you're in the
it.
desert and you're dying and that would be one of your options to drink, you'd slap it over and keep crawling. Right? Yeah. So give me your honorable mention, buddy, first, and then we'll go from there.
My honorable mention, it's going to be my 4, and I feel like it's a really close. It was a really tight decision. But any just a really, really the Fanta strawberry soda.
That's such a good one.
It's really bad. It's really bad. But I don't want to knock fruit sodas as a whole because there are some gems out there, like a good orange soda, or a cactus cooler. I mean, I'm a big fan of those. Like a squirt, any of those fruit sodas. I love that. But a strawberry, that ain't it. That ain't it for me. It's bad, dude. It's just so cloyingly sweet. I don't see the purpose for it. Never really gone to it, but that's an honorable mention for me as my 4. Number 3. This is going to be, I feel like it's going to really rock your boat and a lot of the listeners here. But I've never ordered it. And it's a soda that I don't really understand. I don't get it. That's Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, that's rough.
I don't get it. It just tastes medicine-y. I don't understand the whole taste. It's just something I just never go to. And if I'm going dark soda, it's got to be Coca-Cola,
Dark
it's
soda.
Pepsi.
I've never heard ever called one's dark soda in my life. Hey, if I'm going for a dark beverage, like a soda, it's like, what?
Well, there's like the Sprites and there's the fruity ones out there.
But no one
like,
ever called it the dark sodas.
Dark color, I guess. I don't know.
So funny. Number 2, buddy.
Okay, so that's my number 3. You gave me a really
I'm
iffy
gonna
look
let
on that
you
one.
give your opinions out, and I'm gonna tell you where you went wrong.
Here's another one that again don't like, don't see the purpose for it. I've never really loved it, and it's root beer. Yeah. It's just the overwhelming silence because I know we're going to be butting heads on this so much and
I
aggressively.
think this
back
is
and forth, 'cause
why
it's
this
just-
topic works so well for us. It's not that we really dislike or hate these brands so much. It's the fact that we don't like the same things.
right.
That makes it funny because the things that you're
Yeah.
putting in your list, I would never dream
those are the top
Right.
of your list.
I would never dream of putting these away.
I don't know I don't know how you feel about this top soda, but this soda for me, it's awful. It scraped my tongue with some sandpaper after I drank
Wow.
it. Awful. Yeah, it's horrific. Cream soda.
Yeah, I get that.
It's
Yeah,
awful.
you don't like heavy sugars either, and that's just like licking.
Cream soda for me is
A unicorn.
just the worst thing ever created. Like, what is the point? What are we doing here? Just
Yeah.
go have a
Yeah.
milkshake, I guess, at
And
that
I get
point.
that.
For me,
I get that.
it's awful.
Then it makes a lot of sense.
So that's my honorable mention, and then my top three least favorite sodas. And I'm just never going to any of those.
Yeah, I get that. I think your list is right up the middle for you.
It makes sense
For you.
now that I say it out loud. Doesn't make sense in your head, but now
Right.
if
I
you're
mean, the
me,
Dr. Pepper and the root beer were just awful calls. You never had a root beer float?
hate root beer floats.
Oh my god.
I do.
I mean, it's not my
Don't.
favorite, but
People
like,
would give them to me at birthdays. I would pretend to like them, take a bite, and then it'd
where
go
are the
right
grapes?
in the bin.
or something stupid you would say.
Yeah, no, I'd say where's
Where's the
fruit?
pineapple?
Or I just like can it?
Yeah,
Some real stupid.
something real.
Oh man.
Okay, well, you gave me some. I didn't even think of some of these sodas, so my list is now changing a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's fine. You can change
That's
your list.
fine. I'm
Change
just
your list.
I'm audibling Omaha over here because you
Okay.
brought up because some of the sodas you
I-
said weren't even my zeitgeist because they don't
Really?
even recognize them as sodas. So I'm
Okay.
gonna hit my honorable mention here.
Don't tell. Okay, I
Your
already know where
first
this list is
honorable
going.
mention is gonna be 7-Up. I hate 7-Up.
What?
If the options are, if I can have a Sprite, it's 100% a Sprite. But if
It's like the
it's
same
not,
thing.
it's really not. It's not as good. It's not even close to as good. 7-Up is my honorable mention. It's not good at all.
I cannot believe you're going to 7-Up in your honorable
It's
mention
not.
right now. For a Sprite lover as much
Right.
as you, if they don't have Sprite, you're not
I'm
getting
going
soda.
Pepsi.
If it, that's
Yeah.
fine.
If it's not, or
That's-
root beer.
But if you're hungover and they don't have Sprite, you're telling me you're not going to a 7-Up?
No, I'll go Pepsi.
Because
Or I'll go
Wow.
water.
that was a shocker for me. You're
I'll
doing
go water. I'll go with a clear beverage, as you would describe it. My number 3.
Wow.
My
Okay, that
number
was a big
3
shocker.
for me is something I don't really drink ever or that often, or like I've had it once and it's okay with like a bunch of ice and it's like one of those fancy whatever. Is cream soda.
Okay.
Cream soda is a
Yeah.
3. It's got to be like super designer brand for it to be okay.
It's like real cane sugar,
Right.
You know,
But
like
I'm
blah
never
blah blah.
getting, never
like
doing it.
craft,
If
basically.
I'm
Yeah.
drinking those, I'm drinking Coke. But to me, cream soda could just be burned. There's no point in it.
Yeah.
No one wants it.
Okay.
It's not good.
I didn't think cream soda was going to be on this list for you. To be
Yeah.
honest. Two shockers.
Yeah,
thus far.
cream soda is just way too sugary, and if it's not like the real organic stuff, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Number 2 was one you said that I completely forgot about because I hate it so much. Is Fanta. Hate all Fanta, grape, orange, lime, whatever. All the Fantas need to go in the trash.
That's a real
Yeah.
bummer. You're sleeping on the orange Fanta.
grape, whatever your stupid colors
The
are.
pineapple, like Fanta,
All of them,
like all
trash
those other
it.
ones, not great. The orange Fanta, though,
Right.
come on.
Right.
An orange Fanta is
right into the garbage.
nostalgic.
Right into the garbage.
Oh,
And there's
that
one
pains me
that
to
you
hear
said that I'm surprised you didn't say because I bet you forgot about it. I hate this soda, and I judge people whose favorite soda this is, and
I
the
already
reason
know where
why
you're
they
going.
go there to drink it is Mountain Dew.
I love
Mountain Dew is awful.
I love
Mountain Dew.
I knew that was going to be your number
Mount-
one, and I could have called
Mountain
it from
Dew
the start.
is the worst soda ever made. It's not even close.
Mountain Dew, put me in for Mountain Dew Live Wire,
Right.
Mountain Dew
Right,
Code
all your
Red,
stupid-
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. They're all
your
bangers.
stupid designer niche
Mountain
Mountain Dews.
Just standard Mountain Dew is just.
Have you ever looked at a
fire.
person who loves Mountain Dew?
You're looking
Right.
at one.
Is that your favorite soda?
It's not my favorite
But
soda.
have you ever seen a person whose favorite soda is Mountain Dew? Do they ever look healthy or okay?
Well, you know, we're talking about just everyday goers of drinking soda. They're usually not a very healthy person to
But if
begin
you're
with.
saying, hey, what's your favorite soda?
I'm not saying I drink Mountain Dew on the
Right,
reg
I bet you
here.
have stashes back there. You're drinking Mountain Dew, aren't you? You and your live wire.
Do not ever buy Mountain Dew. But if there is one, and it's gonna like you go to Taco Bell and you get the Mountain Dew Baja Blast slushy.
Oh, yeah. And just put yourself in a grave afterwards.
I mean, I can't say I've done it since college.
Dude. Give me heart palpitations just even thinking about it. Well,
Okay, what was on your original list that you audible?
do you really want to hear it?
What was your audible?
Cherry Coke at 4.
Oh my god, dude! A cherry Coke is You don't like a Roy Rogers?
No, I don't even know what that is. That's how much.
That's a Roy Rogers. You know the Shirley
Yeah.
Temple? It's Sprite and
Grenadine.
Grenadine? Thank you. It's Coca-Cola and Grenadine.
Yeah, I like Sprite and Grenadine. Give me a Shirley Temple.
Roy Rogers slaps.
Call me old fashioned.
Maybe you got to do the Grenadine, add it in yourself.
Right.
Coca-Cola
7 Up
situation.
is 3. It was too high for 7 Up. 7 Up doesn't deserve that heat.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Then 2 was cream soda. Number 1 was Mountain Dew.
Okay.
So I just a little audible with the Fanta
Just a
because I just
slight, just a
forgot
slight.
Fanta even existed in my world because I hate it so
Yeah.
much. And that's okay. You know what? And
Didn't
as
exist.
Fanta, if one day you want to come pay me a couple $100 to do some promos for you, guess what? I'll do it. And I wouldn't care. And I'd drink your soda and I would lie to everybody how much I loved it. Because I don't care.
I think I got a vibrant color.
You can buy
It's
my
beautiful.
loyalty at this moment.
Yeah, I think you could for just about anything right now.
All right, buddy.
$100 goes. $100
It
goes a
really
long
does.
way.
Well, buddy, what a hell of an episode. This is episode number 5 in the books. You know, loving every minute of it. It's been a blast.
It's fantastic. I do love that top 3 worst because we can banter a
Yeah.
little bit back and forth like that.
3
That's
worst.
fun. I do love bringing that in.
Yeah,
These
you're going to
segments, so
see
that's
more
fun,
of that.
buddy.
I think that's more of our vibe. So, yeah, man, shout out to, Jake, Madison, John. I'm going to figure out how to link your stuff in the description one of these days, so bear with me. It will be there. But this podcast couldn't be done without you guys. Truly, thank you. Things you can look forward to about this podcast coming up. We got bachelor party coming up. We got more golf matches from our men's club. We also have, some more content eventually coming out with that. And yeah, man, you got anything else for me?
That's gonna be it, dude. I just really enjoyed this podcast. It was a fun one. It was a good one, and I'm looking forward to doing many more. Really looking forward to this, the betting system that we have going on, tracking the PGA Tour through the rest of the season, and also kind of just doing more assessments of our game and goals and sharing a little bit of our personal experiences out on the golf course, and hopefully our listeners can take a little bit away from that.
Dude.
So that's what we got. Looking
All
forward
right,
to more.
boys, as always, we're in the cabbage, and you keep swinging.